Hi, this is Mr. Kays, and this is 1.3. We're looking at civilization, and we could study civilization till we're blue in the face, but let's use an example of civilization in the early days of mankind. We're going to look at a city called Ur. U-R, funny name, but it's in southern Iraq, and as we look at that, we're going to get an idea of what civilization is like. As man, in the theory of evolution, man settles down. He still hunts, but he also supplies his needs with fruits and vegetables that he grows. Agriculture is going to do something important. It's going to allow people to live together in large groups. They don't have to chase their food on the hoof anymore. They can just go to the into the fences and slaughter the animals at will. Social relationships become more complex. We don't have people that are worried 24/7 about trying to feed their families. They can do other things like be involved in crafts and become government officials, etc., etc. You have irrigation projects, irrigation being bringing water to the crops. You have specialization of jobs. Look what I do. I teach kids history all day. I don't have to worry about shooting my groceries. I just buy it at the store. Inventions like the wheel and the sail allow people to move goods at a farther and faster rate. We have cooperation in building projects. We have labor that is freely given or sold to people who need jobs done. Also, religion becomes very organized. People believe that there are higher powers, there are spirits that need to be worshipped or placated or made friendly, and so religion becomes important. You're going to see this in Sumer, in cities like Ur and Babel. Well, what is civilization? Well, you have 5 characteristics here. The first one is, well, let's talk about what civilization is. It's a complex culture, and it has some 5 characteristics, as I said before. You have advanced cities, which means they trade with each other. They support trade ventures. Number 2, you see a specialization in work that's done. Again, I teach, and you want me to be more specific? Okay, I teach history, I don't teach math. And I trade my labor for, well, either money or stuff. Number 3, you have complex institutions. Government would be one, religion would be another. An institution is nothing more than a long-lasting pattern of organization in a community. And I, again, talk about economy, religion, government. Those are institutions. What would be the longest running institution in Franklinville? It might even be business or most likely education. The school has been around pretty much forever. The 4th characteristic is record keeping. I want to know if the government knows I paid my taxes, and I want a record of that. What law applies to what punishment? Grain stores, rituals like religion, and also a record of debt. So you develop people who are professional record keepers, and they're called scribes. Think of the word that comes from scribes: scribble, scripture, inscribe. They're professional record keeping dudes. And by the way, if they are the ones that write down the laws, they're the ones that interpret the laws, and they will be the forerunners of your lawyers. In Sumer, in cities like Ur and Babel and Lachish, you have a wedge-shaped style of writing called cuneiform, and it is you're taking like a pen that has a triangle shape at the end of it, and you're putting it in the soft clay, and then they would put the clay out in the sun to dry. Sometimes they would fire it up or heat it up, and it would be a solid record of writing. And then we've got the 5th characteristic, and that's going to be advanced technology. More modern tools to do things better or easier. The Bronze Age, notice when that started, about 3500 BC. Now, how many years ago was that? We're looking at 3500 BC, back to the year 0, and then 2000 more. We've got about 5,500 years ago. We have the Bronze Age. Now, bronze is a metal that's a combination of tin and copper. Tin and copper. That's melted together, and it makes things a lot easier. Civilization. Oh, by the way, bronze would be used for arrowheads, spearheads, and bronze would also be used for basins and drinking vessels, etc., etc. So we're going to see in Ur civilization emerge. Around 30,000 people lived in this city in ancient times. That's pretty impressive. That's about 3 times the size of, or 2 times the size of present-day Olean. So about 3,000 years BC, it's the earliest city to develop all these 5 characteristics of civilization. We see artisans, people who are skilled workers that make goods by hand, and craft workers that produce trade goods, selling their wares in cities like Ur and Babel. And in the city market called a bazaar, you'd see people trade goods for goods. And the term for that is bartering. When you trade like apples for oranges or bacon for eggs or whatever, that's bartering. You're not using money. And then finally, what you see here in Ur is religion is centered to life. So at the very center of these cities, you'd say a huge, huge temple that is a step pyramid called a ziggurat. Not a cigarette, but a ziggurat. And I want to show you an example of it. And it would be the highest structure in the city. And people would go up there to pray to their gods. Priests would do religious ceremonies, plus astronomers would be there to look at the nighttime sky. So it served many purposes, this ziggurat. Well, this is Mr. K's, and this is 1.3, and we are out of time and out of slides. I'm out.